Hello everybody, welcome in part 2, of our history chapter. So let us start. Finding out about the past. Now there are several ways of finding about the past. One is to search for and read books that were written long ago. These are called manuscripts. Now what are manuscripts? The scripts which are written by hand. जो हाथ से लिखी हुई जो स्क्रिप्ट्स होती हैं उन्हें हम मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट्स कहते हैं. ठीक है, because they were written by hand. देखिए यहाँ पे लिखा भी है. This comes from the Latin word manu, which means hand. These were usually written on palm leaf or on specially prepared bark of a tree known as birch. Remember that it was written on a palm leaf or on specially prepared bark of a tree known as birch. Which grows in Himalayas. कहाँ पे उगती हैं? हिमालयाज में उगती हैं. इनको भी याद रखना है आपको. Over the years, many manuscripts were eaten away by the insects. Some were destroyed, but many have survived. Often preserved in temples and monasteries, these books dealt with all kinds of subjects, religious beliefs and practices, the lives of kings, medicine and science. Besides, there were epics, poems, plays. Many of these were written in Sanskrit. Others were in Prakritic language. Others were in Prakritic, means the language is used by ordinary people and Tamil. We can also study inscriptions. These are the inscribed so that people could see, read and obey them. There are other kinds of inscriptions as writing on a hard surface, hard पे जैसे wall पे. And what could have been the difficulties? There were many other things that were made and used in the past. Those who study these subjects are called archaeologists. जो इन चीजों को स्टडी करते हैं उन्हें आर्कियोलॉजिस्ट कहते हैं, और जो हिस्ट्री पढ़ते हैं, हिस्ट्री स्टडी करते हैं, उन्हें हम हिस्टोरियंस कहते हैं. ठीक है. They also explore and excavate, dig under the surface of earth to find tools, weapons, pots, pans, ornaments and coins. Some of these objects may be made of stone, others of bone, baked clay or metal. Objects that are made of hard, imperishable substances usually survive for a long time. Now, finding about the past, archaeologists also look for bones of animals, birds, and fish to find out what people ate in past. Plant remains survive for more rarely if seeds of grain or pieces of wood have been burnt. They survive in a charred form. Do you think clothes is found frequently by archaeologists? Do you think? Historians, that is scholars who study the past. जैसे मैंने आपको बताया था अभी, often use the word source to refer to the information found, from the manuscripts, inscriptions and archaeology. Once sources are found, learning about the past becomes an adventure and we reconstruct it bit by bit. So historians and archaeologists are like detectives. You know who are detectives? Yes, who use all these sources like clues to find out about our past. डिटेक्टिव्स क्लूज की मदद से जो है मिस्ट्री सॉल्व करते हैं. ये क्लूज की मदद से हमारा पास्ट फाइंड करते हैं. One past or many. Did you notice the title of this book? Our pasts. इस our pasts का मीनिंग मैं आपको बताती हूँ. ओके, आर पास्ट क्यों लिखा है? क्योंकि पता है ये एक प्लूरल है, पास्ट तो एक सिंगुलर हो गया, लेकिन अगर इसी पास्ट के आगे एस जोड़ दिया तो ये प्लूरल बन गया ना। ओके, ये एक अटेंशन हमारा, ये क्यों है? टू ड्रॉ अटेंशन टू द फैक्ट दैट पास्ट वाज डिफरेंट ऑफ अ फार्मर, वेयर डिफरेंट फ्रॉम दोस किंग्स एंड क्वींस। अब आपको बताइए, आपने, हो सकता है आपने सुना हो अकबर के बारे में, यस, किंग अकबर। तो अब बताइए कि जो अकबर था उसका जो पास्ट है वो तो अलग होगा, बट उसी जो वहीं पे जो बिरबल है उसका पास्ट अलग होगा, यस। अगर एक वहां पे क्वीन है जो अपने पैलेस में है, अगर उस क्वीन के बजाय, यहाँ हम अभी झांसी की रानी के एग्जांपल ले लेते हैं, वहां पे झांसी की रानी है और एक फार्मर है, तो बताइए दोनों का जो है पास्ट अलग होगा ना। इसीलिए हर इंसान का जो पास्ट होता है वो क्या होता है? डिफरेंट होता है। इसीलिए हमारी बुक है आर पास्ट। ओके, फॉर, ओके, देन also, as it is true, even today people follow different practices and customs and different parts of the country, isn't it? For example, today most of the people living in Andaman Islands get their own food by fishing, hunting, and collecting forest produce. Yes. By contrast, more people living in cities depends on other for supplies. और लोगों पर डिपेंड रहते हैं for supplies of food. Okay, differences such as these existed in past as well. Besides, there is another kind of difference, एक अलग टाइप का difference है. We know a great deal about the kings and the battles they fought because they kept records of their victories. Generally, ordinary people such as hunters, fishing folk, gatherers, farmers or herders did not keep records of what they did. वो रिकॉर्ड नहीं रखते थे. Okay. While archaeology helps us to find out about their lives, there is much that remains unknown. बहुत होता है जो हमें पता ही नहीं होता कि ऐसा भी था. ओके, क्योंकि पता ये जो है, जो किंग्स हैं, जैसे वो लड़ाई करते हैं, कुछ भी करते हैं, तो उसका एक रिकॉर्ड रखते हैं. बट जैसे ऑर्डिनरी पीपल है, मैं ऑर्डिनरी पीपल हूँ, मैं अपनी किसी भी चीज का कोई रिकॉर्ड नहीं रखती. मतलब वे क्या करते हैं, रिकॉर्ड में क्या वो लिखते थे या लिखवाते थे, हमने ऐसा किया तो और ऐसा किया और ऐसा किया. हम अपना जो रिकॉर्ड नहीं लिखवाते ना कि हमने ऐसा किया, आज हमने पढ़ाई की, आज हमने जो है, आज हम घूमने गए, आज मेरी इस बच्चे के साथ आज मेरी फ्रेंडशिप हुई. तो हम तो इस सारी चीजों का हम रिकॉर्ड नहीं बनाते ना, बट वे बनाते थे. जो किंग्स थे वे बनाते थे, जो ऑर्डिनरी पीपल थे वो नहीं बनाते थे. नाउ what do dates mean? Dates, आपको पता है ना dates? If somebody asks you a date, you probably mention the day, month and year, 2000 and something. Okay, these years are counting from the date generally assigned to the birth of Jesus Christ. Okay, Jesus Christ आपको पता होंगे, the founder of Christianity. Christianity यानी Christians है ना, जो Christians हैं उनके founder हैं. So 2000 means 2000 years after the birth of Christ. Okay, Jesus Christ एक टाइप से Christians के God है. All dates before the birth of Christ are counting backwards and usually have letters BC, means before Christ, added on. In this book, we will refer to the dates going back from the present using 2000 as a starting point. अब देखिए, पता है क्या होता था, जैसे मैंने एक यहाँ पे लाइन करी, अब ये बीच वाला है, इसे 0 है, इसके आगे हमने 1 and 2 and 3 and so on. इसके पहले भी ऐसी थे 1 and 2 and 3 and so on. तो पता है ये जो 0 था इसे हम कहते हैं बर्थ ऑफ क्राइस्ट। हम इसे बर्थ ऑफ क्राइस्ट कहते हैं, जीसस क्राइस्ट का बर्थ। जो इसके पीछे के होते हैं उन्हें हम कहते हैं बीसी या बीसीई। बीसी कैसे कहते हैं? बिफोर क्राइस्ट, और बीसीई बिफोर कॉमन एरा, ठीक है। और जो इस 0 के आगे के होते हैं उन्हें हम कहते हैं एडी, क्या कैसे कहते हैं हम? एनो डोमिनी, ठीक है। तो इस बात को आपको ध्यान में रखना होगा। तो letters with dates, okay. BC we have seen stands for before Christ. You will sometimes find AD before dates. This stands for two Latin words, Anno Domini, means in the year of the Lord. Okay. जिसका मतलब है year of the Lord means Christ, okay. So 2012 can be written as, instead of BC, can be written as what? AD 2012. Why? Sometimes CE is used instead of AD and BCE instead of, okay, and BCE for common, before common era, which used these terms before the Christian era, is now used in most countries of the world. In India, we began using this form of dating about 200 years ago, okay, and sometimes the letters BP meaning before present are used. BP, okay, आपको कितने याद रखना है? CE होता है कॉमन एरा, एड कभी आपको एडी मिलेगा, ओके। मैं आपको वो वाला मैं आपको वापस से दिखाती हूँ, ये आपको याद है? अभी मैंने आपको बताई थी जो, तो यहाँ पे आपको कभी इस जगह पे एडी भी मिल सकता है, ओके, या फिर आपको सीई भी मिल सकता है। सीई की फुल फॉर्म होती है कॉमन एरा, एडी की होती है एनो डोमिनी, ओके। और इधर भी आपको कभी बी सी भी मिल सकता है या फिर बी सी ई भी मिल सकता है, ओके। तो इस बात को ध्यान रखना है, बीसी की फुल फॉर्म बिफोर कॉमन एरा, बीसीई की फुल फॉर्म बीसी की फुल फॉर्म बिफोर क्राइस्ट, बीसीई की फुल फॉर्म बिफोर कॉमन एरा, एडी की फुल फॉर्म एनो डोमिनी और सीई की फुल फॉर्म कॉमन एरा, ठीक है। नाउ elsewhere we have been seen that inscriptions are inscribed on hard surfaces, okay, hard surface पे inscriptions लिखे जाते हैं। Many of these were inscribed several hundreds of years ago. All inscriptions contain both scripts and languages. Languages which were used as well as scripts have changed over the time. Okay, so how do scholars understand what was inscribed? This can be done through a process known as decipherment. Okay, one of the most famous stories of decipherment comes from Egypt, a country in North Africa where there were kings and queens about 5,000 years ago. Okay, Rostia is a town on the north coast of Egypt, and here an inscribed stone was found which contains inscriptions of 3 different languages and scripts, Greek and 2 forms of Egyptian. Okay, scholars who could read Greek figured out that the names of kings and queens were enclosed in a little frame, okay, called cutout, okay. They then placed the Greek and Egyptian signs side by side and identified, okay, identified, okay, the sounds for which the Egyptian letters stood. As you can see, a lion stood for L and a bird stood for A, okay. Once they knew what the letters stood for, they could read all inscriptions as well. Understand? So, it was the second part of this PPT. So, we'll meet again very soon with a third part. Till that, bye-bye and have a wonderful day.